Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, why is gaslighting so damaging? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So first of all, what is gaslighting? That is when a person is having you not believe your reality. Maybe they brought something up from the past and they claimed that it didn't take place, or maybe they created something that actually never took place, if you get that. Meaning they're going to switch anything around that they can to have you believing that they know more than you do. Now, when you're in the narcissistic relationship, you lose many things. A few of them for this video are your identity, you lose your clarity, and you lose your belief in reality at times. You're believing that the narcissist knows more than you and that they must be right because they keep telling you that they're right. So when you hear that over and over and over again, and you are isolated in the house with the narcissist, that is a very debilitating place to be. You're extremely vulnerable. You begin to really doubt yourself, and you are being chipped away at insidiously, day after day, week after week, etc. You get so broken down because you are in the trauma bond, you're in the narcissistic fog, you're in that devaluation stage, you're existing, you're not living. You're doing whatever the narcissist wants you to do. That's why so frequently on the channel, I mentioned that many of us became the unpaid helper. We became the chauffeur, the cook, the errand person, the cleaner, the person who would take care of the kids and the pets and the house and everything. That's despite the fact juggling a job or more. And that's including not having any time for yourself. And I mean any time for yourself. Because what the narcissist wanted to do is they wanted you to drop all of your hobbies, to drop all of your relationships with your immediate family members, maybe your parents, your siblings, your brothers, sisters, your relatives, etc. Anybody that was a stable person in your life, the narcissist tried to remove you from those people. This is why they want isolation. This is why they want to keep people trapped in the zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog. And when you are isolated and your support system is broken down and you're being gaslit virtually every single day, and you can't make a proper decision, because no matter what decision you make, it will be questioned not only by you, but by the narcissist. That is a very, very challenging place to be existing. That's where you were. My hope is that's not where you are. But gaslighting is so damaging because it breaks a person down. It has the person stop believing in what they know to be reality. They default and they give the narcissist the upper hand, because the narcissist was tricking this person and trapping them and keeping them in that narcissistic fog, because the narcissist wanted a chauffeur. They wanted a pawn and a puppet. They wanted someone to manipulate and someone who would not have a voice. So again, when you were being gaslit, maybe in the beginning of that relationship, first of all, you didn't know what gaslighting was. But second of all, you were defending yourself, saying, no, we went here for that vacation, or we went here for that dinner. Well, the narcissist would begin to slowly tell you, no, that's not reality. What it was, no, we went there beforehand. Remember, we didn't go on the holiday. We went a couple days before. And then you would be sitting there saying, well, no, I know we went there on the holiday because I drove. And then you say, whatever, they must be right. Well, when you do that over and over and over again, and you're up against a toxic narcissistic person who knows what they are doing, play this part again. The narcissist knows what they are doing. They can turn the charm on and they can turn it off depending on which the audience is, who the audience is. If it's just the two of you, you'll get peppered with abuse, which includes gaslighting. If there's an audience there, maybe it's someone the narcissist doesn't know that well, maybe they'll put on a mask. Maybe they will not be as abusive in front of that person. And again, if it's in front of a legal system, they can easily put a mask on to accommodate those people, to try and fool the judges and the lawyers and representatives and etc. But what the narcissist does is they are gaslighting experts, and they have been doing this virtually their whole life. And they found you, they met you, and they figured out what kind of person you are and or were. An empath, kind, loving, stable, healthy person. And they learned about your hopes and dreams and your aspirations and your goals. And they said, yeah, we could do that. That sounds great, whatever they are. Maybe it was to raise a family or create a family or start a business or take a course or create a course or something. The narcissist would say, yes, we can do all those things. Well, slowly over time, they not only stole those ideas from you, or maybe they made sure they did not come to fruition, but they made sure that you did not even want to bring those goals up because you would be so beaten down. Example, let's say that you wanted to graduate university when you met the narcissist. You never got your 40-year degree. The narcissist swooped in early, and let's say you two got married, etc. For some reason, you didn't finish university, but you wanted to. Well, the narcissist would say something like, no, you didn't want to finish. Remember, you told me this 10, 20 years ago that you said you didn't want to finish. You'd rather stay home and be a stay-home mom or a stay-home dad, whatever. And you would be, no, I wanted to finish university. Well, see, that's a prime example of gaslighting. That's a prime example of somebody having you doubt what you know to be true. Again, when you're experiencing this over and over again for long periods of time, maybe even years or decades, you get so broken down that you default and you just think to yourself, well, this person who turned out to be the narcissist, they must be right because they've been right every other time. And if I stand up and put up a boundary and tell them that no, perhaps they're not right, then what will they do? Well, they're going to throw a rage fit on me or blame me or maybe even give me the silent treatment, or they're going to say something to have me doubt myself again. Maybe they'll even gaslight me more. But what they won't do is say, you know what, you were right. Your memory was correct. They're not going to do that ever. That's why you need to run for the hills to get away from these relationships as far as you possibly can, because the narcissist doesn't change. They can't introspect. They can't look within themselves. They can't say, I need to be accountable. I need to do better. I need to improve. All they will do is blame anything of that relationship on you, and they will try their best to gaslight you. They will tell you what you did or didn't do, or what you should or shouldn't have done, and they will paint the narrative any way they want to, as long as it accommodates them. That is why understanding not only what gaslighting is imperative, but understanding that it is extremely damaging to people. Because when you lose your sense of self to a person who turns out to be the narcissist, and that person knows what they're doing, and they're playing you like a puppet on a string, and they're controlling you, your time, what you buy, what you don't buy, what you spend your time with, what you don't spend your time with, who you spend your time with, who you don't spend your time with. They are making your circle shorter and smaller and smaller. So all of your energy and focus goes on them. That's what they want. They want you to not have any good people around you to communicate with, because heaven forbid that you had a stable person in your life when you were in a relationship with the narcissist and you told them some of the poor behaviors you were experiencing. And let's just say that that person did have the wisdom, or at least knew what narcissism was. They may have tipped you off earlier, and you may have seen the signs earlier. And that's what the narcissist can't have. That's why so frequently, what does the narcissist do? Not only do they want to isolate you, but many times they want to have you relocate away from your city, town, state, or country to a place that's in the middle of nowhere, or where you do not know anybody, and where you are subservient and dependent upon the narcissist. This is by design, because you will now have to fill your time. And what were you doing filling your time with when you were living in your city or state before you met the narcissist? Well, you had your friends, your hobbies, your church, your organizations, your work, your job. You knew what to do. You meet them, and that's all removed like that, because the narcissist can't have it. They can't have you being yourself. They need to steal everything from you, which does include your time, energy, effort, love, empathy, clarity, mindset, health, finances, etc. So when you're relocating and you move in someplace with somebody who perhaps you fell in love with, and they couldn't fall in love with you, even though perhaps they claim that they did, that's when these things change on a dime. Once the narcissist knows where the target is and where they place them, that's when the abuse really gets ramped up. That's why the narcissistic abusive cycle consists of the love bomb stage, or the euphoric stage, when you think everything's all going great and swimmingly. Well, it's not. That's the mask we are falling for, or we fell for. Then the devaluation stage, which is usually the longest part of the relationship. Then the ending of the relationship. And then at times there'll be a Hoover. Never, and I mean never, accept a Hoover. It won't benefit you. It's never benefited anybody in the history of humankind, and it won't benefit you. It's the narcissist testing the temperature to see if you've healed, if you've seen behind the mask, if you're strong enough, if you can go no contact, etc. The narcissist knows what they're doing, and they will gaslight you at any opportunity they have. Think about this. Maybe children. Maybe you wanted to have children, and you said, yeah, I want to have X number of kids. Well, maybe after one child, the narcissist was like, hey, no, that's enough. I don't want to have any more. You said, well, we talked about this. We want to have a family of 3 or 4, remember? And they would say, I never said that. I just said 1. That's enough. That's an example, and that may pertain to you. Another example was the university I shared with earlier. Another example is, well, remember the car that you're looking to buy, in a brand new car, and maybe you like car A, and they go check it out with you, and they're like, yeah, well, that car's nice, but remember you said you like this one too, and they steer you in a different direction. Well, What is it? It's a totally different car that you didn't even know existed, and you don't like it. You don't like anything about it. But the narcissist is basically becoming the car dealer, and they're selling you on that car, how it's so much better for you than the car you want to buy. And then what happens? You end up buying the car the narcissist wanted you to buy because it suits them, it serves them. They end up driving it 7 days a week, and you're paying for the insurance and the bills and everything. And the narcissist gets what they want again because you didn't get what you wanted, and they gaslit you into, or guilted you into you getting what they wanted. You see, the whole thing in these narcissistic relationships, it's about one person. It's about the narcissist. It's never about you. It never will be, and it never can be. The narcissist only cares about themselves. And there are so many onions of the layer to be peeled back, or layers of the onion to be peeled back. Gaslighting does so much damage because you have to unwind it. When you are being gaslit and you are being isolated and you're in the environment with the narcissist and you don't have anyone to lean on, you are in a very vulnerable place. And that, by design, is where the narcissist wanted you. They wanted you believing in them. They didn't want you having a independent, strong person to communicate with, essentially a healthy person. They couldn't have it because that person may have wised up and tipped you off, and then maybe you did go down the rabbit hole of education and exploration and figure out, oh my gosh, this is who it is. So now let's think about this post-relationship. When you have healed or you are healing, a few key things here. Number one, your clarity is going to return. You see, when you're out of the environment of the narcissist, the gaslighting begins to disappear. It doesn't go away immediately, but you begin to see things how they really are. And you begin to realize that the gaslighting the narcissist was administering to you was to benefit them and to keep you stuck and to keep you trapped in that fog. They didn't want you escaping. They wanted you believing in what they were telling you. They wanted you believing in their false narrative, and they wanted that unpaid helper and the puppet and the pawn and the indentured servant. This is what they want. It's what they need. It's how they regulate themselves. They want to have a human being existing in the same house as they are, who will cook, who will clean, who will stay up late at night, who will get up early in the morning with them, who will make their coffee, who will warm up their car in the wintertime, who will do everything they possibly can to the detriment of themselves. And the expectations that get placed upon these people when they're in narcissistic relationships, they're insurmountable, which again is why each and every narcissistic relationship not only expires, but it has an expiration date, because only one of two things will happen. Either the person, the target, will remove themselves, and those people are very, very strong and very rare. And if that was you, God bless you, you're an amazing human being. Or you're gonna get discarded because you're not providing the fuel source that you used to provide. Maybe you're catching on, or maybe you're just so physically or mentally, emotionally, or financially drained, you can't do what you used to do because you're now existing in that zombie-like, trance-like state. Now, all these things I'm sharing are real. And if you know what I'm talking about, drop comments below. If you've gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle like I have, you speak my language. I can finish your sentence in a heartbeat, and my hope is eventually you can finish my sentence. But the point is, we've been through the ringer. We've been in the fog. We were existing. We were being gaslit. We were doubting ourselves. We definitely lost our identity and so much more, and we had to rebuild. That is why so frequently I suggest get away from these people as far as you possibly can. Go no contact, block them, delete them, and remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? It will benefit you. It will sting, but it will benefit you, because you need to break the four ties: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie with the narcissist. And when you break these, and it won't be easy, but you will do it. I did it. If I did it, you can do it. When you do it, that's when everything returns: your health, your clarity, your mindset, your focus, your finances, your friends, everything, your hobbies. That's when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book. You can do whatever you want to do. You can travel the world. You can fall in love again if you want to. You can create new friendships, or you can start a business or a worthy cause. You can pay it forward when your cup is full. But what you can't do is when you're being gaslit and you're in a relationship that is a one-way ticket to Destructionsville, it is not a good thing, because you can't do anything for yourself. You put this person way in front of yourself, and you don't even have time to take care of yourselves many times, which I'll talk about. When you're in these narcissistic relationships, you're so broken and beaten down because you are being gaslit and told so many things, and your self-worth goes down the drain. Your belief in yourself goes down the drain. You've already lost your identity, and you're subservient to the person who turned out to be the narcissist. But what happens is, many times you let your hair go, which means you don't take care of your hair. You don't get a haircut, or maybe you don't get that mani or pedi, or maybe you're not going to the gym that often, or maybe you're not using the skin creams that you used to use, or you're not taking care of yourself by seeing doctors, etc. because you're so focused on keeping that relationship together that is being broken every single day, that is what you need to do. And you are gaslit with things. Example, I'll give you a prime example right here. Well, then maybe when you met the narcissist, you were in great shape. Well, then maybe the narcissist did something and they had you start eating not so healthy, and maybe you gained some weight and you stopped going to the gym. Well, they would look at you and they'd say a couple things. One thing they could say to you is, hey, see this scroll right there? They could say to you, oh my gosh, you look amazing. You look incredible. And then you would say, no, I don't. I gained 15 pounds in the last 6 months. I haven't hit the gym in forever and I'm getting a little chubby. I need to go back there. And maybe the narcissist would say, no, you look great. You look absolutely amazing. Why do you think they would do that? Well, number one, they don't want you to look great. Number two, they're gaslighting you into telling you do look great. And you know that you probably don't because you put a couple pounds on like we all do every now and again. I get that, but this is an illustration. But what happens is that the narcissist right there is trying to feed you junk food and impede you from going to the gym. In other words, they want you to gain weight. So when that discard appears around the corner, they can say to you, yeah, look at that. You used to be in such great shape. You used to be an Olympian or world-class in shape, but now look at you, you've gained X number of pounds and look at you, you're so pathetic. They will say things like that. Or they could flip it and they could just say, yeah, what happened to you? You used to be going to the gym all the time. And they would just abuse you that way by saying things that you should be doing, even though they told you they didn't want you to do it. You see, no matter what the narcissist says, they will speak out of both sides of their mouth and they will change their mind any which way the wind blows. So what they said today, throw it out the window because tomorrow's a new day. They may say something completely different. And the $1 million or $1 billion question that people want to know is, does the narcissist know what they're doing? Is this just a complete charade? It's just a mask? Or do they really not know what they're doing? Well, I'll tell you right now. I opened the video with it. The narcissist knows what they're doing. They know how to turn the charm on and they know how to turn it off. They wake up every morning just like you do. They put their clothes on the same way you do and they breathe the same air. They use the excuse that they don't know what they're doing because they're doing what? That's right. They're gaslighting you into believing that they really don't know so that you will they can play the victim card and you can continue to help them. This is what they want. They want the help. They want people to care about them. They need to be needed. They want people believing that they can change and they will change, and they don't know what they're doing and they can't help themselves. They know exactly what they're doing. And I'll say this one to you. Even if you don't agree with what I just shared, but it's true, it doesn't matter. The point is the behaviors are still being administered. They're still taking place and you're the target. So one way or the other, however you cut it, you need to get away from that relationship as soon as possible because you're the one that's paying the price for all the toxicity of the narcissist. You're the one that didn't even know what gaslighting was and you've experienced it for X number of years. You're the one who's been financially abused, mentally abused, spiritually abused, emotionally abused, maybe even physically abused. The narcissist will never, and I mean never, apologize. They can't, because they can't be honest and introspect and be accountable and say, yes, I blew up that relationship. Yes, I did A, B, and C. No, they're just going to paint it however they want to by doing what? That's right, by gaslighting people. That's why they play to the audience. If it's an audience of one, which it usually was when you're in that relationship with them, well, you're going to get peppered with abuse and you're going to be listening to them talk about themselves or you helping plan their ascension to your demise. But if it's an audience of 2, 3, 10, 30 people at a barbecue or holiday event, they're not going to give you the time of day. They're going to completely avoid you, give you the silent treatment, smear your name, maybe even in front of you. And then when the guests all go home or when you leave, then maybe they'll give you silent treatment on the car ride home. And then you would say, hey, what's going on? We were there for 5 hours. You didn't even talk to me. And I saw you having so much fun with all these new, strange people. Like, what's going on? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I was with you the whole time. I was there. Well, is that gaslighting? You tell me. The whole point is the narcissist is always, and I mean always, looking for the next new shiny object. They're always looking for the next person to fall and believe for the mask and to believe in the mask. And at one point that was you. You were the new supply, so was I. That's why these cycles just continue to go around and around and around. And the only way to get out of the cycle is to be strong enough to remove yourself from it, or if you were discarded, either way my heart goes out to you, and to heal and to go no contact, etc., and realize that this relationship wasn't your fault. You were targeted, you were taken advantage of, and the narcissist was gaslighting you. And to unwind that, you're going to have to really believe that that person doesn't have your best interest at heart. Because if they did, you wouldn't be on the channel. If they did, you wouldn't be looking for the wisdom. If they did, you wouldn't be craving the knowledge. You see, that's who I was. That's who you are or you were. You needed to figure out what had happened to you. This is the relationship you need to heal from. And gaslighting is a big part of the abuse that you endured at the hands of the narcissist. They did it in the beginning when they met you, they did it all throughout the relationship, and they did it post-relationship until you finally cut the ties and broke the tethers of that toxic person. Because the narcissist doesn't care. All they want to do is have an audience to perform to. And that's why these people are sinking ships, they're ticking time bombs, and that's why every narcissistic relationship, it certainly does have an expiration date. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. And I hope you saw that little squirrel running by up there. He's getting ready for the winter time to get all of the nuts he can or she can to store inside of their house, and so they stay nice and warm. I'll share this before we go. Remember, gaslighting is something that shouldn't be experienced or tolerated. Now that you know what it is, and if you even suspect that somebody's doing that with you, you really need to pay close attention to who that person is and what they do to benefit you in your life. If there's no benefit, if they're not improving your life, well, consider if they would be on the chopping block, go no contact, etc., or maybe utilize gray rock. But if they are improving your life, well, then maybe say something like, hey, you know, that's not really what happened. This is what happened. You can see what they say. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying that gaslighting is all around you. The thing is, you didn't know what it was. Now you know what it is. You're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you realize that the narcissist is the #1 person who gaslights. And when you're in that relationship, you didn't have the wisdom, you didn't have the tools. Now you do, so the onus is on you. That's why you need to protect yourself. You need to say no, the strongest word in the English language. And you need to realize that the narcissist never had your best interest at heart then. They definitely don't now, and they certainly won't in the future. And gaslighting is one of the most important things, one of the most important tools that the narcissist uses to administer punishment and or abuse to their targets. Don't tolerate it. Get as far away from these people as you possibly can. Believe in yourself. Know your truth. Know your reality and stay with it. Because the narcissist wanted to stay living in your mind so you would be believing them, you would be giving them the benefit of the doubt, and you would be questioning yourself and being uncertain, and then you would say, well, yeah, maybe they were right. No, that's not the case. The case is you are right. Stick with your reality. Stick with the truth. Don't give the narcissist any information. Do not be in contact with them. Understand that they are toxic people that can't change. They will never, ever, ever change. So you need to stop giving them opportunities. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.